So I'm working on this GE washing machine. I believe this latch problem, this latch is not working. Not sure why. I'm going to take it out. And you can see this is the model number of it right here. GTW465ASN1WW. So I'll show you how to get that out of there. It doesn't require any tools at all. You can just reach around underneath it. You can see my finger right there. And you can pop the little piece out. You move. My finger went that way, and I'm going to put my finger over here and go that way with this one. And you can see it just pops that little piece out. Alright, next I'm going to be removing this black piece. And again, you don't really need any tools. I'll show you. You just push it this way. You hear click, and you can just push it down and it slides right out. And I just got my hand under here. Here it is there. And it's got a little clip on the connector that locks it, and this is the piece right here. I'm going to investigate this and see what I can figure out. Of course, I do have the washing machine is unplugged. You definitely want to make sure you have your washing machine unplugged. So I'm looking at this switch here, this mechanism. It's got a switch there, I can hear that, and it's got something that resets there. Every time that pulls in, this resets. But I'm not getting a click, so I'm going to open this up and see. There's some tabs I see that maybe I can bend the tabs and make this unlock. Let's see if I can do it. So I figured out this little black piece has been broken, and I'm going to glue that back and see if I can get it to work. So I'm going to mix some epoxy up right here, and it's of course 24 hours for a hard, for a good cure, but I'm just curious. I've got another piece coming, and hopefully that will get the washing machine going again. So this is a 2-part JB Weld 5-minute epoxy. So I'm going to mix it for a few minutes. And I'm going to do the gluing under the microscope because the glue, the parts are very small, and the contact surface is also kind of tight. So get a good mix here and then switch to the microscope view. And so looking at this under the microscope, you can see this piece goes in there. It seems to fit there pretty good. Alright, so I'm looking at the part here under the microscope. Right here's the area in question. There's the little piece that needs to be captured. So I'm going to put a little glue on it. On both sides here. And then I can bring in my part. Again, I still can't decide which way it fits better. Okay, it seems to like that. And I'm going to put a little more glue on it just to build a little bridge on top. And hopefully that's the right spot. So just looking over the sensor, this mechanism, I'm tempted to click it open and see what's inside. No reason not to, I guess. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it won't just fly apart. So I see inside there a little bit. I'm going to try and keep it intact if possible. There's one clip left. Come on, here we go. So I was able to keep it intact anyway. So there's this is a solenoid, and it looks like it pulls in. And then there's these contacts here. This contact appears to be the same so it goes here, it goes over to there. It clicks in. It's like that's pretty cool. Hopefully you can see that, how this reminds me of like a Bic pen, or one of those pens that clicks. You click it once, it goes in, click it again, comes out. So it's just a pulse thing, I guess. That's cool. So it doesn't require the coil to be energized the whole time. It's just one click lock, one click unlock. And it looks like when it's clicked in, it's lifting this contact, and I see the contact ball right there, And let's see which, looks like it goes to this pin here, I think that's it's numbered pin 1, 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, so this is the way that goes on, is pin 1, pin 2, and pin 3. And so these two, this is the switch contact here, and this one and this one are the coil. This, you can see this part also goes over and touches on this coil contactor. And the other wire here, let's see where the other end of the coil goes to. The other end of the coil looks to me like it terminates right here on the 3, pin 3. So I should be able to read a resistance between these two. I'll get my voltmeter out here and see if that's So first I'm going to attach to pin 1. So this appears to be functioning okay. Okay, it's all snapped back. Now let's see if I can, I'm going to test it again. I'm going to put my probe on pin 1 and 2 and make sure that switch is engaging and letting go. So there's my, I'm on pin 1 and 2, and right now it's unlatched, so I'm going to latch it. I'm going to get the open, unlatch it. Okay. That part seems to be working. Now I'll go to pin 2 and 3. And that's the coil. Now I'm getting 100 ohms. I see when I push this in. Interesting. That has something to do with the coil. So I'm reading the resistance of the coil. And let's see if I latch it in. It's like it opens the coil. This little part here, you can see when I push on it, got this piece here gluing. I'm trying to figure out how this works together. Let's see, this goes in there like that. Looking at it upside down, this switch here is going to be right in this area here, and this piece, which pops up, is going to be down in here. So I'm going to let that dry. put it together and see if it makes a difference. So I've been looking at this lid lock for GE on my top loading washing machine. I was managed to pry out this piece here and look inside. It's basically inside of here is a solenoid, and it's got a switch contact, and it has a toggle mechanism. And down here at the bottom there are these two mechanical features. This one toggles up and down. You can see when this latches, there's a cylinder inside here that electromagnetically engages. It clicks in once. This recesses, and then the second click it pops back out. And this piece here, this actually goes to a this disconnects the contact for the coil. When this is pushed in, you can feel it's got a little spring to it. So when you push that in, it disconnects the electromagnetic coil. And so how this works on this machine here, on this piece drops in like that. And so when you open it up, move it away, you can see that this piece here, this feature here, this square block that moves up and down, this is going to align in this part here. And it's going to serve to, like when you close the lid, this piece will latch and drop down into place here and keep this lid pulled back, effectively locking the lid. And then this switch over here, this one here, has a little ramp here, and this actually slides along this piece here. So this one, this actuator, this switch is controlled by this part here, that part right there, and this square piece that goes up and down, it latches up or down, that's actually the lock. And so when it's locked, it's going to be holding right here, keeping this back. And this piece here is what broke. I epoxied it back. It's probably not very strong, but I've ordered another one, but I'm going to try and sit this back in and see if I can get the washer to work again. But this little bar here got broken, and so this is effectively the lock mechanism here. So you'd want that to be toggled up when you're putting it together, because you want this to be able to freely slide. And I guess if it ever got in the wrong clock position, this wouldn't allow it to move, and it might break it. Maybe that's what happened, I don't know. And so I'm going to go ahead and click this back together. So I've got the bar clicked up, because I think that's how it should be, so this can freely move. And so there's little latch pins here. I'll show you before I click it together. There's features that lock this piece in there. There's a ledge here and a ledge here. And on this side, there's one here and here on the front. And I've had this opened up before. I'm not going to open it again, but I'm going to go ahead and click this back into place. And that looks good. And I want to show you this bevel here. So normally the way this is mounted in this orientation, this is facing up, and these tabs, this slides up into the slot here, and then this piece here locks it in place, this bezel here. So you can see the bezel has these holes cut out, and what they do, there's these ledges here on this side and this side. And so when you push this in, let me make sure I got the orientation correct. It sits like that. And this there's a guide hole here, this little piece here, goes into a hole in the washing machine. So I know this goes in this way, in this fashion. And this serves to lock it. And so when I flip this over, you can see how that's gonna, you push that in and it's gonna click. Just like that. And so now it's locked into place. And so when you're reaching around underneath to remove this, all you have to do is find these tabs and push them out slightly, and that will unlock the mechanism. So I'm going to take it in there now and put it back in the machine and see if I can get the machine to work. So here's the machine. I've got it unplugged still. I'm going to try to put this piece back in. First thing I'm going to do is connect the connector, the 3-wire connector. It's right up in here. They don't really give you much wire to work with, but it's just enough. So there's a latch on it, so you just plug it in to latch it. Just like that. And then I'm going to bring it over here and goes up in there, push there, and then you push it that way. It's in place. Now all I have to do is click this bezel back in, and this will lock it. There's a pin here, and there's a hole, and this serves to lock the whole thing together. And so now I'm going to try it. I'm going to close the lid. I'm going to plug it in. And I'm going to just cold, low. I'm going to try it out. It's filling now. This thing always seems like it's not going to work, but it generally does. It's not it seems to have its own mind. But I'm going to let this run and we'll see. Normally what it was doing before, it would fill up and just sit there. And then after a certain time, it would pump the water back out. And then luckily it did do that. It pumped the water out. It didn't leave me with a washing machine full of water. So it did. I did it 3 times, and then I finally realized I needed to do maybe this. I wasn't hearing the click that I used to hear, so hopefully I'm going to hear the click this time. So it seems to be doing more than it did before, but it's still not. It doesn't say the lid's locked, but maybe it's not blocked at this point. Is it normally locked when it's washing? So it looks like it is working. Got the LED indication that the lid is locked and it's washing. Cool. This is what I was having a problem with before. I couldn't get the lid to lock. Good to hear that sound again.